Today, we're going to dig into one of the most effective, insidious, and psychologically brilliant forms of cybercrime happening right now. And we're not talking about those brute force attacks you see in the movies, where hackers are just furiously typing code to smash through a digital wall. No, the real threat, the one that compromises millions of accounts, is so much quieter and far more personal. It's called credential harvesting, and it's so successful because it pretty much bypasses your computer's firewall entirely. It doesn't need to break in, because it has a much more vulnerable target in its sights, the operating system running inside your head.
Just let that sink in for a second. This one idea completely flips the script on how we think about our safety online. We all have this image of a hacker, right? Some shadowy figure in a hoodie, a tech genius breaking down firewalls. But the reality, the thing that's actually happening to millions of people every single day, is way more personal. It's deceptive. The most common way your password gets stolen isn't by force, it's by persuasion. You're tricked into giving it away yourself, usually in a moment of panic or just plain distraction. This is the central paradox we're going to unravel today.
So, that brings us to our first big idea, the willing victim. It's a true paradox in digital security. And let's be crystal clear here. This isn't about blaming the victim, not at all. It's about understanding the mechanics of a really effective psychological operation. See, the goal of a credential harvester isn't to outsmart your antivirus software, it's to outsmart you. They've built a system that doesn't just target you, it recruits you. You, the user, are unknowingly signed up to be the final, crucial accomplice in the theft of your very own information.
This right here explains the whole strategy perfectly. Think about it in real-world terms for a second. Imagine a giant complex vault door. That's your encrypted account. Now, a criminal could spend weeks, maybe months, with all sorts of special tools trying to crack it. Or they could just put on a delivery driver's uniform, walk up to the front door, and knock. And because they look the part, because they have a believable story, the owner just opens the door with a smile. That is exactly what credential harvesting does online. It is pure social engineering. It's all about creating a situation that's so convincing, so urgent, that you feel like you have to act. And in that one moment of action, you're the one who willingly opens the door.
But for this whole deception to work, for that person in the fake uniform to be believable, the attackers need the right conditions. They rely on things that are already there. Vulnerabilities not in code, but deep inside our own minds and our digital habits. So let's explore that foundation. Let's look at the system of digital trust we all use every day and see exactly how it gets turned into a weapon against us.
This entire heist really hinges on three fundamental human vulnerabilities. First up, our deep reliance on visual cues. Our brains are basically pattern-matching machines. If a website has the right logo, the right colors, the right layout, our brain's first instinct is to go, yep, that's authentic. We trust what we see. Second, there's the incredibly common and incredibly dangerous habit of password reuse. Look, the average person has tons of online accounts. It's just impossible to remember a unique password for every single one. So what do? We use the same one or a tiny variation of it over and over. It's like using the same key for your house, your car, and your office safe. One theft compromises everything. And third, our brain's natural need for speed, for efficiency. We are just wired to take mental shortcuts to save energy. Attackers know this, and they design their traps specifically to exploit this very human tendency to act fast and not overthink things. And that third vulnerability, our brain's love of shortcuts, brings us to a really specific psychological principle: cognitive fluency. This is the master key that scammers use. It's a simple bias we all have. Think about reading a sentence in a nice, clear font versus one in a messy, complicated script. The clear font feels easier to read, right? Well, because of that ease, we're actually more likely to believe the statement is true. That's cognitive fluency. Our brains love the path of least resistance. So when we land on a login page that's a pixel-perfect clone, it's got the right logo, the right colors, the right fonts, our brain doesn't scream danger. It sees something familiar. And that feeling of familiarity, that ease, gets mislabeled in our minds as safe, true, and legit. This happens in a split second, way before our slower, more analytical brain even has a chance to wake up and start asking questions. And when that one mistake happens on that one fake website, the damage gets amplified like crazy because of password reuse. This is the nightmare scenario. You hand over one password, thinking you're just logging into, say, your social media account. But if you use that exact same email and password for your bank, your email, your shopping sites, you haven't just given the criminal the key to one room, you've given them the master key to your entire digital life. This leads to an automated attack called credential stuffing. The criminal takes your stolen login, plugs it into a bot, and that bot just starts trying to log in with those same credentials on hundreds of other popular websites, banks, retailers, you name it. It's an automated blitz that creates this cascade of account takeovers, all from one single mistake.
Okay, so we get the underlying vulnerabilities now. So let's put on our detective hats. We are going to walk through the attack itself, step by step. We're going to deconstruct this entire system that these criminals use so you can see how the machine works, and more importantly, learn to spot its signature immediately when you see it out there.
The whole system is actually deceptively simple. It almost always follows this four-stage process. It starts with the lure, a message that's carefully crafted to bypass your rational brain and get an immediate emotional reaction. Then comes the trap, that perfectly cloned fake website where the crime actually happens. Third is that critical moment of the theft, where all the psychology pays off and you unknowingly hand over your credentials. And finally, the fallout, where that one stolen password starts a chain reaction of damage. Let's break down each one.
Stage 1. The lure. This almost always shows up as an email or a text message, and it's never just a casual note. No, it's engineered to trigger your fight or flight response. It uses a powerful pretext, a cover story that seems totally believable. It'll claim to be from a company you know and trust, your bank, your email provider, a big online store. And it will always present you with a sudden crisis. Your account has been suspended. We detected a login from another country. Your package delivery failed. Click here to fix it. The goal here is simple: to inject a powerful cocktail of fear and urgency right into your brain.
And that manufactured urgency is designed to lead you right here. The email or text will always have a link, a convenient, tempting button promising a quick fix, resolve issue, verify your account, click here. Under the pressure of that fake crisis, with your heart rate up, your rational mind just gets short-circuited. You don't pause, you don't think, you click. This is the pivotal action. This single click moves you from the safety of your inbox into the attacker's carefully built trap. You've just stepped through the looking glass.
So now you've landed on a page, and it looks perfect. The logo's there, the colors are right, it's asking for your username and password. Before we go on, I want you to really think about this. What is the single most important piece of information on this page? It's not the logo, it's not the copyright date at the bottom, it's not even that little padlock icon that we're all taught to look for. What's the one thing that tells you the absolute truth?
The answer is the URL, the web address, in that bar at the very top of your browser. This is the one and only element on the page that an attacker cannot perfectly fake. Everything else, the images, the text, the login boxes, can be cloned with 100% accuracy. The domain name can't, but they can get incredibly close. I mean, just look at these examples. Official is missing an I. A dash is used where a dot should be. A .net is swapped in for a .com. These are tiny, almost invisible mistakes, and our brains, which are already overloaded by that fake urgency and feeling comfortable because of the familiar visuals, well, they're just not wired to spot these tiny details. We read what we expect to read, not what's actually there.
This specific technique actually has a name: typo squatting. And this isn't an accident, it's a deliberate strategy. Criminals will go out and register hundreds of these domain names that are just intentional misspellings or slight variations of trusted brands. The entire goal is to exploit our brain's tendency to skim and to read what we think should be there. The attacker is making a calculated bet. They're betting that your cognitive fluency, that powerful feeling of "this looks right," will be so strong that you won't bother to engage your analytical brain for that simple but absolutely critical check of the web address.
And this brings us to the psychological choke point. This is the moment of the theft. It's the moment your fingers hit the keyboard, you type in your username, your password, and you click login. And right here, the manipulation completely flips. In your mind, you think you're taking a responsible step. You're securing your account, you're fixing an urgent problem, but the reality is the exact opposite. You are performing the final act of the crime yourself. That data you just entered, it's not going to your bank's secure servers. It's being sent in plain text straight into a database controlled by the criminal. The heist is complete, and you were the one who carried it out.
So, we've seen how the attack works, piece by piece. But the bigger question is, why? Why does it work so consistently on so many smart, careful people? This is so important to understand. Falling for this is not a failure of intelligence. It's a testament to how powerful these scams are at exploiting predictable psychological triggers that exist in all of our brains.
It's really important to see that this isn't just random luck. It's a formula. The attacker combines three powerful psychological triggers to create a trap that's almost irresistible. First, they start with a visual perfection of that clone site. That triggers our cognitive fluency, which makes us feel safe and lowers our guard. To that, they add an authoritative demand, pretending to be a brand we trust, like a bank. And finally, they pile on that sense of manufactured urgency, that ticking clock that forces us to act now and think later. It's the combination of these three things, familiarity, authority, and urgency, that leads right to a successful deception.
Let's look a little closer at that second piece, authority bias. This is our built-in tendency to just comply with instructions from people or brands we see as being in charge. I mean, we listen to doctors and hospitals, we follow instructions from police officers. Scammers exploit this. An email that looks like it's from the fraud department of your bank just carries this invisible weight. You don't read it like a suggestion, it feels like an official command. We are socially conditioned to follow these kinds of instructions to avoid trouble, and scammers just turn that instinct against us.
Now, when you combine that pressure to obey from authority bias with the intense urgency of a fake crisis, you get something called cognitive overload. Your brain's limited processing power gets completely hijacked by the problem at hand. My account is locked. I have to fix this now. That state of mental panic, it's like a switch. It effectively shuts down the slower, more deliberate analytical part of your brain. And that's the part that would normally go, hang on, this feels a little weird. Let me double check that URL. The overload isn't just a side effect of the scam, the overload is the entire point. It's the smokescreen that lets the rest of the trick succeed without you noticing.
Okay, after breaking this whole system down, it's easy to feel a little overwhelmed, maybe even like it's hopeless. But here is the good news, and this is the most important part of this whole thing. The defense against this attack is not complicated. It doesn't require expensive software or some deep technical skill. The defense is a habit, a simple, unbreakable procedure. So let's build that defense right now.
This is the most important mental shift you can make.
You can't just outsource your security to a piece of software. Your best defense, your absolute strongest shield, is a personal, non-negotiable protocol that you follow every single time, no exceptions. Think of it exactly like looking both ways before you cross the street. You don't just do it on busy roads, you do it every single time, automatically. It's a basic safety procedure that's been drilled into you. We need to build a digital version of that exact habit.
And this is that protocol. We'll call it the mandatory verification habit. It's just 4 simple steps. Step 1, you receive the lure, that urgent email or text. Step 2, and listen, this is the most important one, you stop. You have to fight that urge to react. Take a breath. Your only action is to consciously decide not to click the link in that message. I don't care how convincing it looks. Step 3, you open a completely new, clean browser window, or you open the official app for that service on your phone. And step 4, you manually type the official web address, yourbank.com, google.com, into the address bar yourself. This simple 4-step habit completely bypasses the attacker's entire trap. It makes that fake URL totally irrelevant.
Now that habit is your behavioral defense. You need to back it up with some basic tech defenses. First, you have to use a different, strong, complex password for every single online account. This is non-negotiable. It contains the damage. If one account ever gets breached, the criminals can't use that password to get into anything else. To make this actually doable, use a trusted password manager. These tools create and remember long, crazy passwords for you, so you only have to remember one master password. And finally, the most powerful technical defense you have. Enable multi-factor authentication, or MFA, everywhere you possibly can. This adds a second layer of security, usually a one-time code sent to your phone. It means that even if a criminal steals your password, they still can't get into your account unless they also have your phone in their hand.
We have covered a lot of ground. We've dissected the crime, we've understood the psychology behind it, and most importantly, we have built a clear, actionable defense. So as we wrap this up, let's boil all of this down into a final protective mantra that you can take with you.
At the end of the day, this is the strategic truth that this whole scam teaches us. Your digital security doesn't just live in some fortified data center at Google or inside your bank's vault. A critical, powerful piece of it lives right here, in the 1-second pause you take before you click on an urgent link. It's that moment of healthy skepticism, that small conscious act of questioning what's in front of you, that is the strongest and most reliable shield you will ever have.
So I want to leave you with this protective mantra. Let it become an automatic script that just runs in your head. Whenever you're faced with an urgent, unexpected request to log into an account, remember these 3 rules as your unshakable defense. Type the address, never click the link, and use a unique password everywhere. Stay safe.